Hi ladies, Jenny here with a video request by fellow YouTuber ChapmanGriffith. She requested that I show her how to calculate the photo corners used in my Tim Holtz texture fades album. So these ones here. And I think from memory it was trial and error. So then that ChapmanGriffith's request made me sit down and think about the calculations and measurements and such. So what I did was I measured the width of the texture fades, the back side, and that measured 4.5 inches. So these photo corners had to be just a bit bigger than that so that it allowed room to slot in fairly easily without damaging the photo corners, but also snug enough so that they don't fall out too easily. Can't remember how I got that. I'm pretty sure it was trial and error, but then calculating I came across the mathematical equation of photo corners to a degree, of these ones anyway. So what I found was the length of the hypotenuse was actually the length of the strip of paper. And to calculate the height of the strip of paper, it's just half of the hypotenuse. So if that was 4 inches, then the height would have to have been 2. So let's test that theory out. Okay, so I've got a strip of paper here which is 4 inches wide by 2 inches high. Now, in order to make the photo corners, you need to find the centre and make it into a point like that. So how I do that is actually measure across half and make a mark. So half of 4 is 2, and make a mark here, 2 inches. So then I know my points there where they have to meet, and when they come down they should touch the bottom edge evenly, and you'll see here it's not quite, and you're never going to get it perfect all the time, and we can tidy up those edges anyway. But that's how you get the photo corners. Now let's test that on here, the size. And that's exactly what that's exactly what I've used. Okay, and they're both the same. Okay, but they do overlap in here. So the width from there to there is just 4 3/4. So that and we know that that's 4.5. So there's an 1/8 of an inch either side of those two photo corners movement. Okay. Alright. So if we wanted to make a smaller photo corner, I've got one here at 1.5 inches high by 3 inches wide. So 1.5 times 2 is 3. So I've just, another way to do this quickly is to fold it in half to get your centre crease there. And that can guide you to fold it over fairly precisely. But then you'll see that you can actually see the crease mark in there. So if you don't want that, then you're better off just to mark the centre points there. So this hypotenuse measurement is actually 3 inches. Okay, but once it's made up, it's actually the sides 2 1/8 inch. Alright, same goes for a 1 inch by 2 inch strip. Fold it in half, bring those down to the centre. The smaller you go, the harder it is to manoeuvre them. So that's your small pocket. See that on here, the sizing of it. That's the 1 inch strip. That's the 1.5 inch strip. And that's the 2 inch strip. Okay. Now, what I do, because I don't like these ugly split sections at the back, so I then cut a piece of paper, just a triangle to go inside. So I just slot that corner in there, get it nice and straight, mark the line, and then I just cut it slightly smaller so that it doesn't stick out too far. Okay. So then that can get put in there and adhered to that back section. Alright. Now, what I also do is I distress the edges. Now it all depends on the colour of distress ink that you use, depends on your designer paper and your theme for your page. But you really need to, if you're going to distress the hypotenuse and the sides. And you also distress the hypotenuse of the triangle insert. Okay, and then using a liquid glue, because you've got a bit of time to move your triangle piece around. So then what we're going to do is we're going to adhere it to those sides there, those little corners, triangles. So okay, now we need the designer paper face down, and then line up your edges here. Come on. So it doesn't stick out and it's exactly on there, and then just flip over your smaller triangle pieces. And okay. So that's the piece, that side there is going to be stuck down, adhered to your page.